Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Factorio with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to our ever-expanding and ever more advanced factory. In today's episode, we are finally going to be sorting out our major issue, which is our oil issue, and we are going to be a little bit more aggressive against these spawners which are constantly attacking us. We've tried to be a little bit more green in terms of which energy resources we're using. We've tried being very defensive and passive, but now it's time we finally research the glorious things known as tanks. We start manufacturing explosive cannon shells, and we go out there to destroy the hives which have been trying to destroy us. But first of all, let's talk about oil. Let's talk about the most glorious of resource which we've had the most issue with so far. Perhaps other than iron, but iron is always going to be an insane problematic thing in this game. So, what am I going to do and what are my current issues? I've actually been a little bit busy off camera whilst I've been incredibly sick, and I've connected a load of the oil reserves, a load of the little oil puddles into the main pipeline, which means we're actually getting quite a lot of oil into our system at the moment. The problem is, we're not using up heavy oil or light oil in the slightest. We have almost no need for it. Although we are producing lubricant, which is then making engines, even those have now been backed up because we're not using them for anything. So we need to figure out a way to use the light and heavy oil so all the oil doesn't get completely backed up. Ignoring that really sharp cut in the video then, because I just had a huge coughing fit, the idea we're going with is we're going to start cracking the light oil into petroleum gas, and in the same way, we're also going to crack the heavy oil into light oil, and then that way that can feed into the system as well. That way we won't have these massive reserves of heavy oil and light oil all the time, which has kind of stopped everything. Everything's only moving along now because I've been moving the pipes around, so all the pipes have had to refill full of the two oil types. Up here as well, what we could do in the future is change over the basic oil processing for the advanced oil processing. Now, the big difference between these two is that the regular oil processing gives us 3 heavy, 3 light, and then 4 petroleum, whereas the advanced gives only 1 heavy, but it gives 4.5 light and 5.5 petroleum, which is a huge difference. The problem is, it does require water, and I'm nowhere near solving that in this area. I would have to move the track, I'd have to move these around, so for now, they're all just going back onto the regular production. They'll be swapped over later, sometime in the future. Okay, so these are all hooked up anyway to the light and the water. These need to be hooked up now then to the heavy and the water. If we put these 3 like this, which one is it? This one is the one, okay. Then we need to hook up the heavy into the right sections, the water into the left, and then the light into the main light oil tanks. Okay, it's all hooked up in terms of the piping, so now, once the power's connected, we should see a fairly quick increase in how much plastic is being created. That should be a good visual indicator if this is working to the level I want it to. Here's really hoping it works, because this will be a great solution that isn't overly complex. Okay, water plus heavy equals light. The light isn't yet hooked up. There we are, now it is. Which means that should be carted away. Excellent. Each of you should be making petroleum gas, which you are. Which then goes into the system, and the top one seems to be making plastic constantly now. Okay, fantastic. And the second one just turned on for the first time in a very long time. Absolutely wonderful. Which means we are indeed making a lot more petroleum gas now than we used to. It's still going to take a while though, because we still have a massive amount of backup in terms of the light and the heavy, and it's going to take a while for the petroleum gas to get where to get where it needs to go, is what I was trying to say there. Speaking when still ill and on medication which numbs your throat can be a weird experience. Just take it from me. Just trust me on this. Wow, look at that though. In comparison to what we just had, that is unbelievably quick. That is absolutely excellent. And we could do this more, but like I said, what we really do need to do is swap over the regular processing here for the advanced processing, thus giving us a load more petroleum gas from the very start, rather than running it through this entire system, which is just wasteful, honestly, and takes up a lot more power and a lot more effort. What we could do is work on adding some of these, though, some of these modules. I wonder if the production module works here. I'm really hoping it does, actually. I don't know if it does, but I'm really hopeful that maybe it would give us a little bit of extra petroleum gas. I'm not sure. If it does, please tell me in the comments, because that would be really helpful. Anyway, though, now this is working, now we need to start working on the tank itself. So, that I actually need to research. So I'll let the Lab of Efficiency 4 finish. It should be finishing faster, now we're making more blue science. And then once that's done, we'll make Military 3, and from Military 3 we'll make the tank. These actually won't take all that long, thankfully. Let's just pretend I noticed the fact that our batteries were completely blocked here because of my pipe changes a little bit earlier than I actually did. Well, on the upside, the tank is incredibly easy to produce. It seems I've got everything I need to make it already in my inventory, so let's go ahead and start making that. And whilst the tank is being produced, let's see what we're going to need for the explosive cannon shells. As we can imagine, we do need explosives, we need plastic bars, and we need steel bars. Explosives, I know need sulfur, but other than that, I haven't got a clue. Sulfur, coal, and water. That's not actually as bad as I originally thought. So, how are we going to do this then? At the moment, we are making a lot of batteries. We've actually got a massive lineup of batteries already, so I don't really need this to be made any faster than it is currently. And in fact, one of our battery lines is completely offline anyway, because we were originally making a load of the accumulators, but I've turned that off by simply removing one of the inserters. So what we could do is turn off these two, and instead remove that, so it no longer connects to the iron. We could just siphon off this piece of sulfur here. That way, there's nothing overly complex. We just literally take it from this little track here and then bring it down. That way we can bring it next to the coal reserve to the left and to the water down here. Okay, there we are. So that's what we're going to do. And that's actually it for explosives. No iron, no copper, no nothing. Surprisingly cheap. I'm completely okay with this. So after that, it's just plastic and steel. Plastic we already have running down here. Steel we can just get off this line here. So that's really easy. That is actually surprisingly easy. And that way we can make a lot of explosive. Or we could go for regular cannon shells. They're cheaper by a long shot, and they do more damage but less explosion, and this has an area of effect of 4, this has explosive damage of 50, but no area of effect whatsoever according to the stats. I imagine there's a little bit, or perhaps it just pierces straight through them. As we can see, its armor piercing is at 300, whereas the explosive cannon shells piercing is only 30, so I'm guessing this goes through the enemies and does more damage, this stops and explodes. I prefer stopping and exploding, honestly. So what we're going to do is just remove these here, and we'll start making the explosives down here. What else we could do, actually, is start using some of these roboports and stuff around here, so every time I'm in the area, the ammunition can be just deposited into my logistics section here. If we go on here, we can go to weapons, and explosive cannon shells, and maybe some piercing rounds, as that's only steel and copper, and that'd even be easier to produce since we're going to be taking some steel down anyway. Okay, that should do it. We're now making armor-piercing magazines, which are going into this passive provided chest over here. And over here we are making the explosive cannon shells, which are going into this passive provider chest. This means if I go into logistics now, we go to explosive cannon shells, and we go to armor-piercing rounds. Yep, there we go. Our little logistic robots are going to go absolutely mental, trying to grab them from the chest and put them into my inventory until I have 100 of each. Of course, at the moment, we simply don't have 100 of either actually made. But even so, good effort, guys. Good effort. And with that sorted, it means we now have a very slow but very reliable income of ammunition. And so, let's put down the tank and give it a go, I suppose. Where should I put it down, though? That's a very good question indeed. I'm thinking we should put it here. This way we're not going to be absolutely trapped inside of there, even if we are actually getting the ammunition created. That goes there. We have some of that already. And I think we're going to need to stick around, though, for a bit longer until we have a little bit more ammo. It shouldn't take too long, since we are although we are making them slowly, we are making them very, very consistently. Well, I was going to go to the north, but apparently we're already under attack from the south, and we're losing some of our defenses. So I think it's only fair we go to the south and destroy the spawner here, and hopefully we might even be able to find a little bit more oil. So I'm going to destroy this spawner set here, then we're going to move on to the east spawner set and see if we can find any oil anywhere nearby. So, we have the explosive shots loaded, and bam! There goes several of them. Absolutely fantastic. And I may have missed them, but at least I did damage this rock. The rock deserved it, guys. It was definitely evil. Well, that is pretty effective. While I was saying that, apparently so is ramming the enemy. Though those biters are getting very annoying, and our shots are actually going through them. Now I think the reason is the explosive shells, after they deal enough damage, they do detonate, as they do have a piercing level. The higher the piercing level, the more it will simply go through enemies, but of course because it even has a piercing level, some of the enemies won't be detonating the shot, which really isn't that good, honestly. Let's just swap over to the armor-piercing magazines. Goodbye, spawner. Goodbye, very nasty level 2 biters, and there we are. Okay, this has been dealt with, and we've got a load of the alien artifacts. But the question is, do I have any repair packs? No, apparently I don't. So I'm just going to make loads of those, make them 5 at a time, rather than making them all at once, so as they get created, they'll be put into our inventory. Then we can simply fix the tank and move on. No oil here, though. Oops. And no oil really on the map. Wait, is that oil there? I think that could be oil. Well, it looks like it. It's either oil or no. I think it's almost definitely oil. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to destroy the thing which is apparently swarming at us right now anyway. Then after that, we'll go up there and secure a new oil section. Goodbye to all of you. A little bit more iron here, a little bit of stone, one single spawner in there. And we have absolutely loads of oil. Okay, that's what I wanted. Maybe I should stop ramming into the enemy spawners. It is damaging our tank, and it also slows us down heavily, so not the best, really. Tanks are overpowered, though, when you compare them to the humble car. There we are. 2 more spawners dead, and that makes this area now also dead, which means later on we could get this set up to a train set instead of having them just as pipes. And to do that, we would need, let's see if I can find them, empty crude oil barrel back at our base, which then leads to an empty oil barrel, which comes back down here on the train, which then we can use to fill with the filled crude oil barrel, and then that's what goes back to our base as fuel. Now we could do that, but it does seem a little bit inefficient, and we could very easily pipe it up and just defend the pipeline. Maybe I'll consider using a train if there was a little bit more in the way of resource in this area, but there really isn't. Also, we are really, really hurt. And I'm almost missing a load of alien artifacts. Are they alien artifacts or alien relics? Let's have a quick look-see. They are indeed alien artifacts. And where are my repair packs? There they are. Okay, let's put them here. Oh, and I completely forgot to test out the poison capsules. Well, we're going to clear out one more spawner section anyway, so let's just do that. Really wish that this was a little bit faster. There we are. All nice and repaired, so let's get going again. On the upside, even if this doesn't completely take away the attacks from the south and the east, it's going to definitely remove quite a few of them, and we have a lot of iron here as well. Maybe it would be worth having a train thing down here, just making it a very sprawling factory. Wouldn't be a big factory, but it would sprawl a very large area, and wow, that's a lot of enemies. Release the poison! Ooh, does it affect worms, and does it affect spawners? Well, there we are. Is it affecting the worm? Yes, it is. Okay, so the poison affects the worms. It doesn't, however, affect the spawners. Long-range artillery. Okay, so this is definitely a good way to use the explosive cannon shells. This way they can't hurt us, but we can hurt them. Sadly, the spitters are attacking us, and there's a small attack going straight for our centre there. We are a distraction. We are the best of the armoured distraction units. More poison capsules for you. I wonder if they affect stacks as well. There's a lot to learn with the poison capsules. Also, we've not been researching anything now for ages. Is that it? Any enemies left? Yep, there's just the spawner, and that should be it. Okay, new question. Does the poison hurt tanks? I can't imagine it will, but even so. No, okay, so it is definitely only organic, only organic creatures, organic things, life forms. But, saying that, these spawners look pretty organic, honestly, but they're not affected. Also, we've just left these in the middle of nowhere. So, is that oil? I'm really hoping it is, because if this is oil, then we've located... Yep, it's definitely oil, which means we've located 2 new areas. But this one seems like the area we'll go to first, because there's 2 iron ore deposits here, and of course it's pretty darn close, so doing the piping would be really easy. But for now, let's just get back to our base. We're a bit too hurt right now, and we've already extinguished a lot of the alien life forms. I'm afraid, though, after looking at the time, I am all out of time for today's episode, and honestly, I'm still not feeling very well, so I was a little bit rushed to make this video, and my throat has already completely failed me. So thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, then of course, likes, favourite, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Factorio is a series you wish to see continued in the future. In the next episode, we'll be expanding to the south and the east, getting way more oil, and getting into some very advanced bit of tech. We do need to start using the alien science packs, which is actually really easy to do. And then, there is a lot of stuff we can get to work on, like the energy shield and the... where are you? The power armor, or whatever it's actually called, the modular armor. There we are, the power armor. There's quite a bit I want to have a go of, and honestly, I do want to build trains, because trains just seem really cool. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.